Hello competitive golfers or those involved with helping competitive golfers, it's Scott Williams here. I just wanted to share with you guys some research and some golf exercises. I'm going to do this as a weekly thing, so feel free to unsubscribe, but if you're interested in it, you can get these emails. You can also, if you've got friends that want it, you can add them to the list. There should be a subscribe function coming. If not, just email me and I'll add them. So yeah, each week I'm going to go through a different exercise that's highly specific to golf. There are many general exercises from the realms of strength and conditioning, Pilates, powerlifting, etc., or Olympic lifting that are great for golf, and they have many benefits, but the ones that I'm going to focus on are a bit more specific. I guess they're exercises that are mainly for rotation sports or for golf almost exclusively. So I figured we'd narrow it down a little bit so we can cover things that are going to help directly. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about golf specific training. It's a bit of a complex area, I guess, in some ways, and perhaps misunderstood. There are concerns from some people out there that certain movements that we do in the gym might have a negative influence on the golf swing. This could certainly be true of any exercise that's done with bad technique. So I guess the first and foremost thing is to do every exercise with good technique and ensure that we're building the body in a balanced way. So making sure that the muscle groups on either side of every joint are relatively equal in their length and strength. Any exercise program that doesn't do this could be harmful to your golf swing. Perhaps not as harmful as being sedentary and doing nothing, but it is true that we do need to make sure the technique is good and that the program is balanced overall. So that's the first thing to be aware of. Now, the other thing, which is the other concern, which I guess discussed with several people, coaches, etc., over the years, is just an interference with the motor pattern of the golf swing. Now, this is an area that's, I guess the jury is still out in many ways. There's no empirical scientific evidence to suggest that any exercise can interfere with the motor pattern of any sporting skill. But I must admit that I have seen certain tendencies, and we all have, where if someone's really good at a particular sport, you'll see them use those same patterns in golf. So for myself, for example, I've played baseball for 30 years and my swing gets a bit flat. That's because my body's trying to utilize those strengths that I've developed in baseball for golf. So I've also seen skiers who have done a lot of skiing and they come back and their stance may change. They may be a little bit more squat and not necessarily over the ball as much. So there is some, I guess, some indicators that we can potentially interfere with the motor pattern, the position of golf. But it is quite rare from what I've seen. So I just wanted to, I guess, divide up the exercises that I'm going to be showing you into two specific categories. There are those that are specifically training the strength around joints. So for example, external rotation of the shoulder, which is something that all coaches would be happy to see, that position at the top of the golf swing instead of this one. So that would be golf specific, but only from a strength point of view. It's a strength specific exercise. We're using the same joint movements that are required for golf, but I haven't necessarily put the person into a golf specific posture yet. So from a movement point of view, it's not specific. So if those of you who really study it out there are aware of dynamic correspondence and the 5 different elements of that, it would only tick perhaps 2 or 3 of those 5 elements. So I'm not going to go through those at the moment, but the other type are movement specific. So we may be potentially able to improve somebody's pivot by using certain exercises or positions that do mimic exactly what we're after in the golf swing. Now, they're not holding a golf club, they're not hitting a golf ball. So these ones, you could still argue that they may not interfere with the motor pattern that the high-level golfer has developed. But the thing I would say about those movement-specific exercises is that we do need to make sure that the person that's doing them does them precisely. So you do need to make sure you're in the exact right position. A mirror can be handy. Understanding your golf swing and what your coach is getting you to work on, you need to make sure that that is occurring when you're doing those swings. So for example, a golf specific wood chop, you need to make sure you are using your body in a manner that is biomechanically sound for your swing. If you have a tendency to side tilt too much in your downswing, for example, if you do that in the drill, that will cause you problems. So it's important that you make sure that you're doing the exercise correctly. So just ensure that, that's the case, and then everything will be great. So anyway, I'm going to wind it up here. So please enjoy the weekly research review and the weekly golf exercise and share it with your friends. Thank you.